the famous beauty mark, the Pepsi commercial, the George Michael Freedom 90 video, the hundreds of magazine covers. Cindy Crawford is more than a model. She's earned a spot in the pantheon of instantly recognizable icons, what a marketing executive might call a powerhouse brand. Achieving supermodel status along with the likes of Christy Turlington, Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, Claudia Schiffer, and only a handful of others is one thing, but maintaining the same level of fame 40 years into the business is another. Everything came together in a way that was bigger than anyone individually. It was a time when 1 + 1 + 1 = 1,000. She says about why being a fashion model, once a quieter and more fleeting job, gave that particular group of women their lasting superstar status. Later in her career, Crawford made a deliberate choice to build her brand by taking daring professional risks, especially for her time. Her flair for business and an understanding of how to appeal to a wider fanbase transcended the world of modeling. Suddenly, star models like her were using their voices, quite literally. She made an exercise video, hosted the MTV show House of Style, and wrote a makeup book. Then I started a skincare line with Dr. Sabor and slowly took more ownership of my career, and I had more of a say in how I was being portrayed. In an industry where women are objectified, and there is concern over how some younger girls can be exploited, Crawford says she took the reins very early in her career. I was doing Vogue and Revlon, and then I did Playboy, and people couldn't understand why I would risk that. It wasn't about the money, because I barely got paid for the first time, she tells, running her hand through her famously thick mane of hair. I gave up getting paid in order to have control, so that I have approval of every image. The result was an atmospheric, multi-page, black and white spread shot by famed photographer Herb Ritz. Because I took a chance there, it opened me up to a much broader audience, male and female, which Vogue didn't have. And that's why I got MTV, and that's why I got Pepsi. Those projects earned Crawford a place in the collective consciousness that endures to this day. Crawford was a supermodel before the age of social media, but it's social media that may have played a role in bringing back the glam of the Cindy, Naomi, Linda, Christy era, introducing it to a younger generation. There is a nostalgia about that time, as well, right before the internet and smartphones took over our lives, when everything seemed simpler and the pressures of maintaining a public image were less acute. Born Cynthia Ann Crawford in DeKalb, Illinois, in 1966, Cindy Crawford started her modeling career while she was still in high school. She was a gifted student, earning a scholarship to study engineering at Northwestern University, but dropped out after one semester to pursue modeling. She quickly went from working with photographers in her native Illinois to New York, to the international runways and covers that made her a household name all over the world. Along the way, after a high-profile marriage to actor Richard Gere, Crawford married businessman and former model Rande Gerber in 1998. They share 2 children, Presley and Kaia. Both have chosen to pursue modeling careers, and 21-year-old Kaia, who's fast become one of the most in-demand models in the world, is also trying her hand at acting. Does knowing the pressures of the industry change how much she worries about her kids? Every mother worries about her children's physical safety, their mental health, their relationships, their self-esteem. I think the one thing that was different for me is I didn't grow up in a well-known family, and I didn't have as much public pressure on me. Public pressure for the kids of established celebrities comes in many forms, most recently with the debate over so-called Nepo babies, the offspring of stars sometimes accused of having unfair advantages in the entertainment industry, thanks to the connections of their famous parents. Crawford's daughter Kaia herself acknowledged in a recent interview that having a supermodel mother certainly did not hurt her career. Crawford tells that she doesn't disagree with her daughter, but says that even though celebrity children get a head start, they are still expected to perform. They come out of a gate and everyone's eyes are on them, she says. Maybe they are given the opportunity over someone who doesn't have the same advantages, but if they don't have the goods, if she wasn't selling or wasn't creating excitement around collaborations or brands, she does that, she wouldn't still be working. The wonderful thing about the longevity of the 90s supermodels is that women now have a real-life example of middle-aged bombshells who are still paid to be the faces of cosmetics brands and appear on magazine covers. We may not have their bodies or their looks, but hey, we tell ourselves, we can still be considered desirable as we age. And that's great.